Yeah, Nigeria played host to the summit of Central Securities and Depositories Organizations across Africa and the Middle East last week in Lagos. The event was focused on the importance of critical infrastructure to the operations of depositories that are central to the operations of efficient capital markets. Let's listen to the contributions of some of the high-level speakers in attendance.
Thank you, Jack.
This year's forum will be held under the highly significant theme, Shaping the Future. Financial markets infrastructure as a catalyst for transformation economies. This theme reflects our deepest awareness of the rapid transformation taking place in the global economy and the role played by the financial market infrastructures in enabling economies and adopt innovative and achieve inclusive growth. AMIDA holds the view that financial infrastructure is not solely a technical tool. It constitutes an essential mechanism for development and sound basis for incentivizing investment, improving transparency, optimizing market efficiency, and realizing economic integration within the region. In conclusion, I anticipate productive deliberations, insightful exchanges, and actionable recommendations that will contribute to the advancement of our collective mission and the cultivation of our prosperous future for our financial markets and national economies.
We must rethink market resilience. We must have financial inclusion. We must have sustainable investment. We must have regional integration. These are the catalysts for me as a CEO sitting behind as a post-trade institution. So what is the guiding question? How do you design institutions, policies, and partnerships to lead, not to lag? And I'm speaking to my dear friend and colleague, the chairman of CSCS, who is also group CEO of the NGX, Mr. Popola. Critical questions for the reform are interoperability, very important. How do you build integrated regional markets that are interoperable? How do you innovate, ensuring that regulation is also guiding us? And do we think blockchain and AI can secure these particular changes? My answer to the latter is yes. And I see Radwan looking at me. We had an extensive discussion around whether it should be blockchain or AI that will drive our markets in future.
One of the things that I found out coming into the capital markets in Nigeria very quickly was and is that the depository is the heart, in a sense, of the capital markets. It's actually not the exchange. And it's on that basis, very quickly, I formed, I think, at least a strong enough a relationship with Mr. Waziri from back in the day for that reason. We talk about digital transformation, for example. I think if we can get that right, our capital market transforms. I think it's also not a coincidence we have Mr. Imokwede in the room. We haven't really had a chance to thank you as a market for a lot of that progress we've made that we're getting benefit from now, for example, on digital transformation. And the heart of it is very simple. Why is it that in a country as large as ours, I'm sure the data from CSCS will probably say it's 100,000, maybe 200,000 people who are actively using our markets today, that picture has to change. It can change. And of course, if it changes, our country is better for it.
Depositors are very critical market infrastructure that ensure the security of market participant assets and provide confidence in our markets. In today's fast-evolving technology landscape, with technologies such as the crypto assets, the decentralized finance, blockchains, and artificial intelligence becoming common, it is important that depositors and settlement systems stay ahead of the game in order to ensure that they effectively play their role and continue to provide assurance to investors on the security of their assets. I'm therefore delighted that you have chosen the topical theme, Shaping the Future, Financial Market and Infrastructure as catalysts for transforming economies. Since the caliber of participants present here, I believe that we do justice to the topic and come up with strategies that will strengthen our market and grow our economies.
Financial markets are essential engines for economic change. They mobilize resources, encourage entrepreneurship, and support sustainable development. However, none of this can happen without robust, reliable infrastructure, both physical and digital, that connects people, ideas, and opportunities. That's why Lagos State is committed to investing in infrastructure, as highlighted in our historic 2025 budget of sustainability, which dedicates a significant portion of capital projects aimed at fostering inclusive growth and long-term prosperity. We understand the crucial role that institutions like CSCS play in ensuring our financial systems are efficient, transparent, and secure. Since its establishment, CSCS has set the benchmark for excellence and innovation in Nigeria's capital markets, and its leadership within AMIDA is instrumental in shaping best practices across the continent. This conference is a platform for forging partnerships, sharing insights, and mapping out our ambitious future for our financial markets. I'm confident that the discussions and collaborations that kick off here will birth new strategies and solutions that will benefit not just Lagos and Nigeria, but all our economies. As governor, I'm fully committed to creating a welcoming atmosphere for investment, innovation, and sustainable growth. Our goal is to turn Lagos into a shining example of progress, unity, and endless opportunities for everyone who lives and works here.
The catalytic role of depositories, which is why we are here today, cannot be overemphasized, as they serve as link between the public companies and investors and shareholders. Securities are issued by agents associated with depositories, which are known as depository participants, which are banks mostly. Depositories also function to eliminate risks related to owning physical financial securities, allowing traders and investors to hold securities in dematerialized form, thereby eliminating the risk related to holding physical financial securities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the experience in Nigeria with the CSCS PLC, that Central Securities Clearing System, which has since emerged into a trailblazer and pathfinder in that space as Nigeria's premier securities depository, is very apt for the times. CSCS PLC has over decades brought the latest technology to digitize Nigeria's financial market space, especially with the handling of transactions which were hitherto materialized. In doing this, new standards have been set in terms of time management, safety, speed, risk management, record management, even as the security markets in Nigeria has grown to the level where it is today. Today, CSCS has built unparalleled capability within the region in document management in secured and digital fashion. Indeed, Nigeria's financial market has evolved greatly over the years. There has been massive gains in terms of innovation, new capabilities and sophistication, but of course, there are still many rivers to cross. With the cumulative experience in the room today, encompassing the whole of Africa, indeed, and Middle East region, including experiences that may be shared by professionals from outside these regions, we believe that our markets shall evolve even greater as learning experiences are shared and collaborations are considered.
AMIDA actually is a platform for action, a platform for what I would call self-interested action. And that is why you've gathered in Nigeria to discuss how to further your interests, and by virtue of the regions that you represent, Africa and Middle Eastern interests. The Arabian Peninsula and the African continent share a lot of history. For instance, we share traditions, languages, religious practices. Your president, the first thing he learned when he came to Nigeria is Omo Iya, and he has been repeating it to me and everybody since. And I am very touched by that. Historically, the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean have served as vital trade routes linking the Middle East and Africa and enhancing both cultural exchange and economic interdependence. Indeed, actually, if I recall as a young student, primary and secondary student, my notion and understanding of trade was not trade between Nigeria or Africa and the West, but actually trade between Nigeria and Africa and the Middle East. And the trade routes and the romance and the vibrancy and our understanding of how money was created, how wealth was built, was actually along the lines and the corridors of Africa and the Middle East. And so the case for cooperation is very compelling. We share the same challenges: security, food security, energy transition, infrastructure development, But however, together, I think we will be much more effective in addressing these challenges than on our own. And so by leveraging our complementary strengths and collaborating on the fact that we share challenges and therefore we have mutual interests, we can not only balance uni and bipolar influences, but also advocate for probably a more multipolar, more even, more balanced world. By pooling our resources and pooling our diplomatic efforts, I heard the Egyptian ambassador here, our regions can exert much more influence globally on decision making.